Hi guys, this is my Python. This is the second episode of the Python tutorial series. In the last video, we went over how to install Python and PyCharm. In this video, I'm gonna go over what are data types, what are variables, and how to use them. Okay, so imagine that you want to, for example, store your credit card number in your code. And writing that number all over every time you want to use that in your code is very, very repetitive. So what you can do is to use variables, and what variables do is that they store your value in the memory, and you can use that value anytime you want. So to demonstrate this, I'm just gonna open PyCharm. Okay, so this was my first tutorial, and we're gonna go to File, New Project. I'm just gonna call the project Variables. You should be familiar with this by now. And we're gonna just do the preferred Python version you have. I'm just gonna click Create, this window. Okay, so this is the Python interface. Over here, we can see our files. Just gonna right click in it, go to New Python File, because that's the programming language we're writing our code in. And I'm just gonna call it App. Okay? So imagine I'm just gonna print like a random number. I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if I want to write this every time in my code, this will become very, very repetitive, right? So what you can do is to write a variable. So variables are very easy in Python. You just like put the name of your variable. I'm just gonna call it number. You're gonna put int equals, and then you can put your number. I'm just gonna put 372, for example. And then if I put print number, it will just print the number we had, which was 372. And what's cool about this is we can also do like operations on it. I can even divide it by 2. As you can see, 186. I can do multiple operations on it. So we have multiple type of data types in Python. One we have is an integer. Integers are just regular numbers with no floating points. Positive from negative, like any number, or you can be like 100, 72, for example. These are all examples of integers. We also have floating numbers. Floating numbers are numbers with decimal points. For example, pi, 3.14, 1.82. These are all example of floating point numbers. Then we have booleans. Booleans are basically like a switch. They could be either true or false. These are like the only 2 booleans. And we also have strings, which are any text. So hello world is an example of a string. That's the most key data types. We're gonna go over more important data types later in the tutorials. Okay, so I'm gonna make an integer right now. So I'm gonna say a is equal to 193, for example. And then I can print a, and as you can see in the console, we can see 193. But if I put a number b and I put another number, but as a string, like 12, so if I put a plus b, you might think that it will show the value of 193 plus 12, which is 205. But since the types are not the same, it will give an error. As you can see, it gives an error. So there's two ways to fix this. Either you can just change b to a regular integer, or you can convert b to an integer in the print function. So how you do this is you put int and wrap parentheses around it. Int converts any string to the integer form. So now if I run this, it will give no errors and it will run my desired output. Okay, next up, floating point numbers. So floating point numbers are, like, if I put pi is equal to 3.14, and if I like print pi, as you can see, it just says 3.14. And if I show you the type of pi, it's a float. So numbers that have decimals are floats. So that's pretty much it for floating point numbers. Otherwise, they have the exact same functionality as integers. And there's also booleans. So if I say my bool, I can say call it true. So if I say type of my bool, it will say a type of bool. And if I say false, it will also say bool. Okay. So booleans have a special functionality where if you convert a boolean to an integer, if the boolean is true, it will convert to 1, and if it's false, it will convert to 0. Okay, so if I say my bool to like false, and if I say 71 multiplied by my bool, you can guess that it'll say 0, because false, which is 0, times 71 is 0. Let's see. And as you can see, it is 0. But if I put true as the value, and so my bool is 1 right now, and 1 times 71 obviously is 71. So as you can see, it says 71. That's pretty much it for booleans. And we also have strings. If I say string is equal to hello, and if I say print my string, it says hello, right? And what strings have that you can add a string to another string. So if I say string plus add a space, because this doesn't have a space, and then say world, and if I run this, it will say hello world. So that's pretty much it for variables. And if you want to see that like these are persistent, I can say just put number is equal to 1, 2, 3, print my number times 2, and now if I print string again, print, excuse my bad writing, and run it again, you see hello, which was the value of our string, is still there. Alright guys, this is it for the tutorial on variables. Be sure to like and subscribe and comment. Thanks for watching. In the next video, I'll go over number operators like addition, multiplication, division, and subtraction. Thanks for watching.